movie notes on Men of Honor 2000 film, 10 June 2026 viewing. Here, Tanis, hear hers of Seattle, talk through my movie notes for my Wednesday, 10 June 2026 viewing of the 2000 film Men of Honor, which is a biographical film about Carl Brashear, who becomes a master diver in the United States of American Navy at a time when there were not many people of his race/ethnicity as master divers, approximately 1960s, 1970s. And so he has this kind of dream of becoming a master diver, and he ends up per the movie, okay, so it's biographical, so it says of the type inspired by a true story. So it's based on a real person and a real story, but I don't know how much liberty was taken in like the events that were portrayed. But I thought the movie, and he ends up having a number of like not only was his race/ethnicity, but by the time he's like becomes a master diver, he has a disability as well, per the movie. Okay, and so I thought it's a really good. I've seen this throughout. So I was born in approximately 1993. So for this one, I've seen it throughout my life. Not in high frequency though. It's like I'll see it once, and then it's like 5-10 years before I see it again. And I think it's a really good film for addressing how to behave/conduct oneself when really in a breakthrough setting/situation. So the breakthrough setting/situation was his race/ethnicity, and there was prejudice, but there was also the reality of going in and throwing a temper tantrum in response isn't going to get them a position when the standard and the need of the military is good conduct. Right. So essentially, I've talked about reputation risk, and there's that book that I read, the Short Guide to Reputation Risk, and it's like there's one way that damage can be inflicted, and that's everybody is the reputation of others rising. And can think of it as, so these people have this prejudice, and maybe that's expected from their community. And so what Carl Brashear does, is he improves his own quality, which then could be like it threatens the reputation of the people who are like discriminating against him or being harsh or whatever, because he's improving his own quality. But at the end of the day, it's the military, and they need a certain level of standard of performance. So like if he's the only one that can perform at that level, he's the one that they take, because there is at the end of a day a performance standard that he needs to. That they need a certain level of performance, and if he's the only one, that's what they need. It's the military. So there's that kind of, but he has to figure that out. So of like, at the end of the day, the metric is performance. It's like a survival thing, the military, in that kind of really basic sense. So in addition to showing up, he had to figure out on his own how to present himself, how to be in line with operating standards, even if he was improving, which made him happy, and not yet at a certain level of performance. So there was one scene in this movie where it's really great. They have like these exams they have to take, and he really wants to become a master diver, and so he's like he's working on self-improvement, right? And so he gets this exam back, and his score is a 76, and he smiles, and there's like a smirk on the instructor's face, right? Because he's doing well, like he's getting better. But in the background, like somebody's saying you need an 80. So like he's smiling, and then he's like, oh. Like he kind of just like, oh, like I need to do better, right? But it's learning to present himself that way, where like, yes, he is improving, but he's still not at the standard that he needs to be at to make the cut, right? So there's that component as well, as like him learning how to present himself to be in line with the standard that applies to everybody, including him, even though he's improving. Like he's like, I might make it, but you're not there yet. So there's that. It's like I wouldn't necessarily go attitude adjustment, just kind of like situational awareness of like, and to make the military, there is a performance evaluation, so to speak. And so he needed to make that. But it's kind of him coming to like realizing that and being like, just because somebody else flares up doesn't mean I should, right? And like that's like you can think of it as, so there's the performance metric, but then there's the prejudice. Yeah, and part of like being a breakthrough is learning to not flare up in response, right? It's about maintaining a very high standard of operation. So there we go. That's a good one. It's 5 out of 5 for me. So those are my movie notes on Men of Honor 2000 film, 10 June 2026 viewing. From me, Tanis, she, her, hers of Seattle, to you.